It's your boy Izzo, Izzy, Israel 1129.
This nigga just said 2129.
That sound like a
come on.
username to something else you got going on.
Sound like
Nah, bro, that's the name. That's the name on the Facebook. That's all.
boy got an OnlyFans account.
It's your boy CB the Problem, and we back with another episode of 40 Hours a Week podcast.
It's your boy Dude. We back again. Nice to see y'all again. You know, always showing love and support.
It's your boy Izzy, Izzo, back at it, 40 hours a week. Let's go.
Alrighty. What first thought you want to talk about now? Pops, what you want to talk about?
We can jump it off about what about you being that person at the workplace? Like, let's just say, like, you became that CEO. You became that person, that head that got employees working for you. Would you pay your employees the same like you was been complaining about if you were complaining about at your workplace? You know what I mean? Like some people be like, man, they ain't paying me enough. So what if you got the opportunity to be that? You own your company and now you run it.
Mhm.
Are you gonna pay your people the way you want to be paid, the way they say they want to be paid, the way you say we want to be paid now, or are you gonna start looking into like tax cuts or everything else? I mean, it's something like that. I mean, it's something to think about. You know, a lot of people, you know, we complain now about a lot of things. You know, that's one of the things we talk about, like, you know, making it out your workplace. Like, but what if you do make it? What if you want to go another route, like owning your own company or something like that?
I think it really depends on what the economy calls for. If I can be fair with the wages enough to the point where I can get from A to B, then I think that makes sense. But there's a lot that goes into that wage. And I can kind of understand the way the business model goes that everybody may not get what they want to get. As far as like fast food chains, I don't think they predominantly want to pay low,
Mhm.
but this dollar has to stretch and touch so many hands to the point where I only have to pay you a certain amount of money
Right,
to
but
do a
why?
job.
Okay, but it goes back to saying if you was the employee, some employees now say, "Man, I ain't getting paid enough. It ain't enough." So now you saying what you saying. So you was that employee saying you wasn't getting paid enough.
hmm Because you have to look at the
So
business a
now
little
you
different,
saying
though.
if you was a business, so where we at then? That's the thing. Where
Right,
we at?
right.
That's the question that I'm asking. Where we at then?
Yeah, I just feel like in the business side, you got to, you know, budget and pay out your people too as well, where you can budget for supplies, you can budget for, you know, just a lot of things that go into it, like paying out somebody. You also have to have a good management team too as well. Without a good management team that's operating your employees, making sure they feel like they're the, you know, the best, they're going above beyond for the workplace, it's going to be, you know, just I feel like just trash just being there, going to work every day. Oh, I gotta go to work every day. It's trash. I don't want to be here. You know, you gotta make your employees feel like, you know, they want to be there too as well. Of course, the pay, it's 50-50 on the
But
pay.
that ain't the question. The question is, what would you do? Would you pay your employees? Would you pay your employees properly? Or, you know, the stuff that we say now, you know, at the workplace now, people now, like I say they underpaid. Would you pay it if you had the opportunity? Would you pay your employees what they asking for?
I
If it
think
was you, that's the question.
I think me personally,
I understand that way. What you talking about? You know, you gotta have employees. You gotta have this. You gotta have this. You gotta have that. That ain't the question. The question is, if you had the opportunity to be that CEO, to be that chairman, to be that person of this company, would you pay your employees if you had any? How many would you pay them properly if it was you?
I feel it all depends on where you at in that business. If we just now started off, I only can pay you what I got. And
it's a lot to look at.
yeah,
And when you're talking about the whole scope
So are you
of
sympathizing?
I'm not sympathizing, but this is the
Are
thing.
you
You
sympathizing
can
now?
say you can say yes as
So
a
you good with your pay then?
but check this though. As a CEO, I can say, hey, I want to pay all of my employees a fairly wage. But at the end of the day, as a CEO, you have to look at the whole scope of things. I'm bringing in X amount of dollars. So let's just say if I wanted to pay everybody $15 an hour, but the business doesn't support that, I can't tank the business by paying more than what I'm getting in.
You're right.
So I have to adjust. Now, if more things come along the years, then as you stay with me, I can increase your pay because I'm bringing in way more revenue.
How would you treat your employees?
My thing is, you have to treat employees like human beings. You have to
I
treat 'em-
understand what you're saying, but I'm talking about right now, 2025, and I'm talking.
You would treat them with, like they human beings at the end of the day. You can't just be treating them like they ain't
Excuse me.
nobody's in robots. You don't want to treat them like that because who's going to work for you? Who's going to work for that? Ain't nobody want to work for somebody who just treat them like robots.
But the main thing we have to take into perspective is we have to create a clean work environment.
Yeah.
Without any bias, without any favoritism, without any this shift versus this shift.
Yeah.
You got to understand that if people is getting up, coming into your establishment every day, they could be at home. They could be on unemployment. They could be on welfare. A lot of people have different resources to them. So the fact that they want to get up and roll over and come out of bed and punch the clock for you, then I think as a CEO, a supervisor, a lead, or whatever have you, you should be able to reciprocate that type of love. Like, look, you ain't got to be here, but I'm glad you're here.
Right.
And that's what most people just need. You don't hear it a lot in these workplaces anymore. You don't hear anything anymore. It's just like they don't thank you enough because they feel like you should just be doing what you're doing anyway.
Exactly right. And I feel like people that's doing the groundwork should have the most respect because like CEOs or people in the higher management too as well. Of course, they're busting their ass, they doing the work too as well. But the guys who in the ground level busting their ass, they should have the most respect. Because it'd be some people, the CEOs like, oh, I work harder than you, or I'm doing all this stuff too as well. Well, I'm out here in the field. I'm actually doing this, by hand. Of course, you're on a laptop and you're doing this, but I'm actually doing this by hand. I should get the most respect out of that, putting in more money in your business too as well for that. That's what I feel like how, what I'm saying, the CEOs should treat their workers like treat them with the utmost respect because they put in the groundwork. That's my only opinion on that. That's what I want to stand on.
But the craziest thing about CEOs is that how many times have you met the CEO of your job?
Yeah.
Never.
I
That's
never
not-
came down or
You
never
might see
even
a picture
seen
of
them.
him in the hallway.
Yeah, exactly, right.
You might see him in a newsletter with a little signature at
You
the
might see
end.
them on Zoom call.
You know what I'm saying? Thanking you for your services or something like that. But
Right.
you know what I'm saying? As far as you actually meeting him and touching hands and seeing, you're not gonna see that at all. So the CEO is just one thing about that is they got their own things to deal with. So I get why certain CEOs don't meet the employees from the ground level. I get it, but at the same time, I feel like it's a good business move for you to do that and touch hands with people who actually put the bread on your butter at the end of the day.
Yep. Right. Did I answer your question? Anything like that? What you think?
I didn't think that really answered what I was saying.
So
Somewhat it
You
did.
just I mean,
What
Somewhat
are you
it
trying to
did.
get at?
you got a different
Oh,
you got a completely different
Look at the little bit.
perspective.
I can't.
You got a completely different perspective on the treating part. Everybody's gonna have their own opinion on how they should be treated. But
Isn't that what everybody complain about? Majority? I'm
Not
just going
really.
on, majority
I think
in the workplace.
in the workplace we all have our own different struggles. Somebody might get mad because they can't get on FMLA. Somebody might be mad because the wages is not competitive. Somebody might be mad
But
because
the
they
main
got beef
thing
with their
is the
supervisor.
wedges. The main thing what I keep bringing up the finances for is, that's the survival that we need today in society that we need.
Yeah.
I mean, you might not say money is not everything, but that's everything we need to survive in today's society is the finances. So if you get the finances, that you're looking for, and if you can stay above the water, you know what I mean? Then yeah, we can be sitting there saying, yeah, it look good. We can do this, we can do X, Y, and Z. But right now, I think that we in a survival mode. So when I go back to saying, the question is, if it was you, if you was a CEO, would you pay your employees the way they supposed to be paid or the way you think they supposed to be paid?
Yes,
Without all
if I
the
could.
without all the well, what if you had all the extra amenities that you talking about?
Yeah, of course I would. Why not? It'll keep the
I, th- I,
business
th- I,
growing.
th- I think we all would, but we also have to be realistic about our answer as well.
Right.
If you ask me, yes, if that's the bottom line question, yes. If I could pay my employees a reasonable wage, a living wage, yes, in a heartbeat. Everybody, everybody.
Hmm.
There's companies right now who doing it to this day. Arizona teas are still a buck. They bring in a lot of revenue a year, but the CEO's like, hey, I want to make this affordable as long as I can.
Right.
So
Okay, going on to what you said. You said what? The teas is what?
Arizona teas are a buck. They're a dollar. They never went up.
So since we going into like the dollar the buck, let's go into like you know, the minimum wages. So you want to talk about that? You want to talk about that? Who want to talk about the minimum
Man,
wages?
minimum wage. We're in the Kentucky, Ohio area. In Ohio, minimum wage is 1070 as of 2025. In
Ooh.
Kentucky, it is still
You saying,
7.25.
Oh, 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 oh. Goodness, that haven't even changed.
What you gonna do with 7.25?
I don't even. You can't even buy Chipotle with that. You
Like,
can't even.
what
I
do
know
you
what
do
you
with
need to buy.
what? What do you do with
Well,
7.25? What do you do with that?
I'll do it.
That's all you can get is all you can get is a pack of Altoids. And no disrespect to anybody who makes 7.25, but it's
No
like
disrespect, but hey,
get your money where you're gonna get it from. But like that's an absurd amount of money to not pay somebody.
you shouldn't be able to fathom that.
Yeah.
$7.
In today's society, 2025, that shouldn't even be. That shouldn't even be on the record. That shouldn't even be
Yeah.
in place. Do you know what I mean? That shouldn't even be nowhere in sight. You can't even go to the grocery store and buy nothing for $7 and what 25 cents.
I just added it up.
They gonna take taxes. You gonna take don't let you have to pay other stuff.
At 80
garnishments.
hours, you'll gross $580. They'll probably take 120 of that and leave you about 450, 460.
Oh, what you gonna do with
Every-
that? Especially
every
if you have
week?
it. Especially if you have a family. What you
Every
gonna do with
week?
that?
Nah, this is every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks,
Yep. You can't
especially if you had garnishments. You bring it home 120,
The
125,
taxes alone will kill you.
and that's gonna take you to another level.
Yeah.
Another level of what? Can you get housing off 725?
And you know they ain't finna give you nothing as a black man
I mean,
you
in America.
You
I mean,
assed out.
if you make
in Ohio. We just gonna stick Ohio and Kentucky. They ain't finna give it to you in
You
Ohio and
assed
Kentucky.
out.
I mean,
I ain't talking about nowhere. I'm talking about Ohio, Kentucky. Them areas, I know they ain't finna give it to you like that.
It's over.
They gonna
not at
say
all.
you make too much.
You better claim some kids on your
10,
taxes.
10, 1070 in Ohio is 1070. You make it too much.
Oh, you make way too much.
And 725 in Kentucky, you make too much. Don't get no overtime with that.
You better not get no
Because if you
overtime.
work 40 hours a week,
yeah.
you ain't finna get nothing. They gonna say you make too much.
Can you even get food stamps with that?
You probably can. There might be ways around that. I think you can't work like more than like 35, 40 hours or something like that. You get
Okay.
your part-time gig, you probably
What you mean?
for you to qualify.
Food stamp.
I mean, hey, get in these comments, man.
So
Put us
what?
up on game how
Please.
this
So
food
what?
stamp
Please do.
game works.
Please
So
do.
Put
what?
us,
So what? 725? You gonna say you can't work what 40 hours?
I need to work.
Is that
You
what you
gon-
trying to
let me
tell
tell
me?
you
You gonna want to work 40 hours a week.
No,
though.
he
You can't
just
say-
said you can't work 40 hours.
That's if you want government assistance. There's so many restrictions to that. Hey man, don't be scared to get these comments and let us
Please
know
help
about
us
this
out.
these government restrictions. But I was told
Please
you can't
inform.
work a certain amount of hours when
It's
you got these
crazy what they do
jobs
now. It's crazy how they.
because they'll disqualify them for their government assistance in some instances when they working too much.
Everything changed. I
Everything
know that.
changed.
Everything changed.
Everything's changed. You got to get your hustle on. If you're getting 725 out here, it better be a second or a third job you got. It can't be your main source. You're going to have to start getting on at Amazon, and you're going to have to start getting in these warehouses. You're going to have to start going where the money's at, man, because these jobs ain't paying what they used to be, man. Not at
And
all.
that's why I say it goes back just to, go back real quick. What I was talking about the first, what we was talking about. What if that was you? If we go on Amazon, we go on here, we go on these all different places trying to go to the dollar. Say if we made enough money to get the dollar. Now I want to get me a business started. Now I want to get me something going.
Mm-hmm.
Will I get me employees and how many? And will I pay them what they worth?
Yeah.
Would I pay them what I was getting paid at my job, or would I pay them a little bit more?
Yeah. But also ask yourself.
That may be the question.
I will pay them a living wage.
Yeah, you'll pay them living wage, but also ask yourself too: is everybody meant to be bosses? If everybody meant to be employees? Because we need employees to run the world.
I'm just
too,
saying
as well.
for the people that want to be.
Yeah, the people that want to be bosses.
I think the people that want to be bosses
Yeah.
genuinely care about their employees.
Yeah.
Not versus the ones that get
Really?
slid into
Everybody-
a spot. I feel like somebody who genuinely wants to become a businessman,
Mhm.
they're not all weenies. You know what I'm saying? Most of them want to do good by their employees. For the most part. The ones that get thrown in this predicament, the ones that, oh, you next man up, they're going to treat it how they want to treat it.
It depends, because it's like if they do agree with their employees, then they're gonna get treated a different way anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like they gotta act a certain way, and I guess it come with that job. I guess it don't have to be, but just by what's going on that I'm speaking about, that's been from previous, just growing up. That's all I've been on. That's all I've been saying.
But it's
The ones that people say so-called cool, you know what I mean? They the ones that look at as, the bad guy, or they going against the grain. So it's like I guess if you're going on that route,
that's where that P word come in at. The politics.
Yeah.
That's where the politics of business come in at.
But if it was you, it goes back to the question. If it was you, now it's you. If you wanted to do this, I'm not saying, like you said, everybody not fit out to be a boss.
Yeah.
A CEO.
Yeah.
But for the ones that are, the ones that are, you know what I mean? The ones that want to get up out of this run, out of the struggle, when they get on top, how they gonna treat their employees? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, I know, and at this table here, we gonna treat them, with the utmost respect and make sure that money is grown at all times. I know that for sure. We all agreed on that because we know how it is working at a job, and trying to make ends meet. Maybe have to work a second job too as well. So we want to make sure that everybody's eating around us, but making sure that the business is growing at all times. Too. You don't want to overpay your employees and your business is going down too as well. You want to make sure your business is growing at the same time.
Well, how would you know what's overpaid?
It all depends on what you in business. Is you a salesman? Is you know what I'm saying? You have your own, if you working at Coca-Cola or you have your own pest control. Like it all depends on what business that you're in. You got to attract the audience too as well, like what type of business you're in. It all depends. We just speaking in general right now. We don't know what type of business that we're getting into, but it all depends what business you're getting into.
It's really what your budget allows. I would rather have 6 employees and I can pay them a living wage than have 10 and
So
pay
would
a
you
minimum
pay them?
wage.
So it goes back. So does that 1070 sound efficient?
1070 is not efficient.
Is that
unless
1070
you
efficient?
live
I'm just saying. I'm
overseas.
just going on what you're saying now.
1070.
I'm just talking about what you're saying.
But I think we all three understand that neither one of these wages are living wages.
But I'm just going on what you're saying though, because a lot of people
That's
say
not what
that's
I'm
efficient.
saying. That's no.
What you
that's
just
not
said, you got to
efficient at
watch
all.
out. You got to watch out how everything is in now in the economy, right? So you got to look at, like you just said, what you just said. You got to watch out for this, and that, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So is the 1070 sound efficient for your employees?
But that's just the minimum though that you can pay somebody the lowest.
That's just
the minimum.
That is the bottom.
Yeah, that's the bottom of the barrel. You can't go lower than Ohio 1070. You can't go lower than KY.
So would that be your minimum to pay people?
No, you wouldn't have no. But it all depends on what business you got.
You can't say you won't have no employees because evidently they got them. That's where they got that number from.
But But remember though, if you starting off, you're gonna have to start off with something that you can afford to play on your employees. If you already running and your business is growing, everything like that, you can up that to 18, 20 an hour, 21 an hour, 22 an hour if your business is thriving.
But is that efficient? $22 an hour, $25 an hour to live off of right now.
What do you think a sufficient wage is right now in America? Right now, and this is gonna vary
In
depending on
America
where you
or in
live at.
Ohio, Kentucky?
In Ohio, Kentucky, what do you think the minimum wage should be in Ohio and Kentucky?
Yeah.
The minimum I could pay somebody.
The minimum
The minimum. What is the bottom line? Like, this is it right here.
for that person to live good.
For it to be a living wage. Everybody who has a job doesn't live good.
For it to have a living wage.
Living wage.
Yeah.
What's the bottom you would pay somebody? Like, you know what? Look, all I can give you is $25 an hour. Do you think that's a reasonable wage? Bottom line, or do you think 15 is? Honestly, I think minimum wage should be around $15 to $17 an hour. Personally,
I think minimum wage should at least be about 25.
25. Well, that means
In Ohio,
do you know what that would
Kentucky.
mean? That would mean America will be booming.
Because the way they take our taxes is booming.
Yeah, that's big business.
yeah.
That's a whole. That's a
I don't know
whole.
why
nother,
you saying because that
I
ain't
mean,
really
20
nothing.
But it's nothing to you. $25 an
No,
hour
it
in
is
this
something to
country
me.
will never happen.
But I'm saying that's something that's logic. That's something that's realistic.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
that is realistic.
it really
Because other states, you know, they got it because their economy booming and then the cost of living. But I'm just saying here, 25. Be fair.
yeah.
I mean the way they taxing you here, the way they get you garnishments, the way they do stuff here,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
they don't care about your
yeah.
living status. I
They-
mean,
they
it
definitely-
ain't like your living expenses like
Yeah.
you know $500
But
a month.
No, you're right.
You know what I mean?
I would love for it to be $25 an hour.
I was
mean, I'm
going to
just
say
thinking
this, though.
realistically.
Somebody, you know, they have town hall meetings. Somebody voted on having this, right? You know that, right? There's people that's governors in your state that votes on how much is the minimum wage in your state. You know that, right? So when they was, you know, giving this out, they chose 725 in Kentucky. They chose Ohio 1070. Did you vote or did you have any say so on that, you know, at the time? Or as black men, like, do we even know about that? You know, what's going on? Like, do we
ain't
even
never
know about
involved in them
when
council
they, you know,
meetings.
about the mount, you know, do these council meetings, do these town hall meetings too as well? Do we even know that they're discussing this on what's the minimum wage going to
A
be?
lot
And do we
of
have any
us-
type of vote? Because I feel like black men, we're missing that.
Nah, for sure. We're not involved.
We
at
definitely
all with
missing
that.
it.
Yeah, you know,
I've never been to one ever.
never
I
been.
couldn't tell you what time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing we missed.
And that's another thing from three different generations.
Yeah, it's crazy out here in this world. But yeah, I feel like we should be more involved in that. Black men be more aware. Go to your town hall meeting. Go to your council meetings. You have a say so. You have a voice out there. Just go out there and do it. That's all you guys do. Just do it.
I think we're so fixated on the big picture. It's
Yeah.
always presidential candidates that we get so asphyxiated with, but we don't even do that in our own towns and our own cities, which is crazy. But
All right, let's move a little forward too.
what we gonna move forward to?
Okay, okay.
look.
What we gonna
Okay.
move forward
Look,
to?
let's move a little
He said,
forward.
I want
I'm
to
just
change the
saying.
speed.
I'm just saying we can just just switch
Change
it up
that
a little
speed,
bit.
man.
Okay,
Just
okay.
change it up. I mean, it's something related to everything that we was just talking about, but
Yeah.
what about bringing like work home, like work frustration home?
Ooh, I
The-
mean,
the
at least-
workplace frustration. Like, do y'all want?
I-
Do y'all bring that home, or do y'all keep it at work, or
Nah,
I
it's coming
mean,
to the
like-
field with it.
I'm married.
like you bring it to?
So, you know, I look. I was on the speakerphone. I'm a young black man married, so it's kind of difficult not bringing frustration home because I be wanting to talk to my talk to my wife about it because everything be going through my head. I'm like, I got to get this out, but she be understanding what I be going through too as well because I need a second opinion and making sure that I ain't crazy or making sure like I ain't tripping because I just feel like that's what you should do. They tell you at work don't bring your frustration on your problems at home, but I feel like, man, I gotta get this off my chest. Like I can't hold this in. Like
That's the
Dang,
that's
So
the
you can't
first.
keep it to yourself.
I can't. I gotta let
keep
it
to
out.
yourself, but you
Nah,
can't
you
go
gonna
work
explode
out.
if you keep.
You
it to
can't go
yourself.
work
You
out.
gonna
I gotta
explode.
let it
You
out.
can't work out.
No, you can work out, but this the thing. What's the first place you going to after work? You going to the crib.
Yeah.
That ain't enough time, especially if you live, 10, 15 minutes away. That ain't enough time to
I
decompress.
mean, you hop in that water,
he
You
said,
up in
go
that
take.
water?
Izzy said,
go
hey.
to the gym. What you mean?
Go
You
to the
hop in that
gym.
water. Go to the gym.
Go to the gym or what?
Izzy said, take a bath if you feeling it. If you bringing it.
Because a lot of
work
people come
frustration
home from work, don't wash up. But
Come
that's
on.
another thing. But
Come on,
yeah,
man.
just going
That is
home.
another thing.
Come
It's
on.
just going home.
Who ain't going home and washing up?
I'm just saying, just go home, wash up, work out. You talking about some That's the first place. I'm just saying. I'm just giving you some other.
Yeah,
little-
like if it's
you
something,
asked, and I'm just saying there's other people.
if it's something crazy, like I gotta tell like, oh, like my manager was trying to say this, like what you think about this today, like just talking to my wife about it, getting her opinion on it, make sure I ain't like you
But
have
then
to
what if
have,
the wifey agree with what your supervisor said?
Oh man, that'll eat you up. That'll
oh
eat you
oh
up.
well look, so
I'm
this
just saying. Now, don't say ooh. Now I'm
this
just
where
saying.
you gotta eat
Hey.
Don't
both
say ooh
sides.
now. I'm just saying because you want to
But-
bring it home.
That'll
so then you
eat
already
you
in it,
up.
you already frustrated at home. So what if
That'll
your
eat
wife
you up.
like?
You done spilled
Yeah.
the guts. You done spilled from
Yeah, that's
A
what
to
I'm-
Z, and she be
yeah.
like, "Well, what was you doing?"
Exactly.
Oh, I ain't look.
What was you doing to deserve that?
Ah,
Well,
man.
I ain't gonna lie. She
Give
may
me-
say that. I have to look at myself like, all right, what did I do in that situation? But
so you ain't looking at yourself at your job to your boss.
You
But
knew
it-
what you
You
did.
ain't
But-
saying now. What did I do at this job?
But it all depends who you are. What type
Oh,
of
now it
character.
depends on who you
Yeah,
are.
because I ain't that type of guy where.
So
I'm
what
be
if you ain't
putting-
that type of guy that ain't?
I'm not. I'm gonna be putting that. I'm gonna be like, hey, but he said this because I know I'm gonna be a humble guy. I'm gonna come with respect and love first. Now, if you come with, that's
Lights,
a little
camera,
violence or
action.
anything like that, I'm gonna be like, hold on, what you talking about? Like, I'm gonna, check you first, and I'm gonna tell my wife about like, hey, he said this. Like, did I say this right? Making sure that I'm not.
So you gonna tell your boss that?
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely let him on professional way, but I talked to my wife to let her know, like, did I say this right to this man because I know how I get.
Yeah, you
I
give it a
gotta
little
make sure
replay.
I'm
yeah.
professional.
Trying to run it by.
Yeah, because I know I can get out. I can code switch out of like, who he talking
Yeah,
to?
So
yeah,
Like,
then what if
yeah.
you go to work and she tell you, nah, you was wrong, blase, right? Let's get forward on this part, right?
nah, I was wrong.
And then
I
they
mean-
give you your walking papers out the door. And then what?
I ain't gonna lie.
Man.
Then what?
If
Hey,
she
that-
tell me like I'm wrong and they give me walk bed, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be salty at first. I'm like, man, I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah, he told me he
It
gonna be
is.
soft.
I'm gonna be salty.
It
Like,
is.
you know what?
Here go the
like,
truth.
Nah.
at this, you know what I'm saying?
You
I'm
gonna
on some
say,
other
yeah.
stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm not about to go back home and cuss her out.
What you gonna do?
That's,
you can't.
because that job is temporarily. My wife is long term.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I ain't
But
about
it's
to do
like,
that.
what happens when you actually get tried at work, but when you do spill the beans about it and you do open up about it, and she's like, "But what did you do to make your supervisor do that?" And it's almost like, dang, like,
You gotta.
do you got my Bizac in this situation? Because
Yeah.
if I'm open enough to tell you, you should know I ain't do nothing wrong.
Yeah.
If I really did something wrong, I don't think I would have opened up about it because I would probably still be embarrassed about it.
Yeah, but that's like you coming to your big homie, right? Or your friend, and he tell you he just on your side knowing that you in the wrong.
Yeah.
Somebody got to be the real in the conversation. You can't just be one sided.
You
I
right,
want
but
her
that's
to be. I
but
want
you
her to
right.
be like both. Of course, like be on my side a little bit more, but
But-
still,
I mean,
let me know what's going on.
You right, but if you bring it to the big homies versus your wife, the wifey and your big homie, that's too different.
You're gonna
Yeah.
have two different perspectives
It's
for
too
sure.
different.
Yeah, but he gonna
Like even if he tell you the real, he gonna tell you in the real in a different type of way,
yeah.
and then he gonna react a different type of way. So that's why I said that's going into a whole nother
Yeah, but
conversation, really.
does it hurt more that your wife is or your girlfriend, your wife is telling you about it, or does it hurt more that your big homie telling you the real too about what you doing wrong? Which one? Why does your wife hurt you more than she the one you sleep with every day, be with every day, than your big homie telling you something? Why does that, not hurt you more, like make you like, oh yeah, let me evaluate myself. Let me sit back.
Because she's not looking at it in a black man's eye. In a
Yeah.
black man's
In black-
point of
There
view.
you
Yeah.
go. There
Okay.
you go. She-
At the
Okay.
workplace.
She ain't
Yeah.
understand like being.
She
in the
looking
workplace.
at it as a nurturer, as looking at it as, a comfort. We come to women as, comfort anyway.
Yeah.
So she ain't looking at it as,
Yeah.
if it's your big homie, he looking at it like, he another man and shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, he can feel what we going through, like, damn, man, like,
Yeah.
they shouldn't have did it like this at the same time, but they did it that way. So it's like, we can relate to a little bit more. So that's what I'm saying. Like, even if she agree with me,
Yeah. But I feel like your girl, your
I just
wife.
think she just doing it just to be doing it because she don't want to see me upset.
That too, but like
Oh, yeah.
one thing back to the big homie, like it's best to have one that can be solid with you, that can be real with you, that can tell you and pull you to the side and be like, "Hey, bro, I rock with you, but you tripping." You know what I'm saying? He do me like that all the time.
Yeah.
But he knows how to do it. It's not in a disrespectful way, but he'll just come out and say it. Hey, big dog, you tripping.
Mm-hmm.
Like, calm down. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, all right, my bad, bro. Because it's like, I am tripping. But you know what I'm saying? When it comes to other individuals, you really got to be mindful of who you telling certain stuff to.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
a lot of people got different opinions, and some people feed off negativity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you really got to be mindful of who you opening up to about certain situations, and are they forthcoming and understanding of the situation? Do they know you in that situation?
Right.
So it's only so many people you can really tell that to, and you really got to confide with people who really know you as
Yeah.
a person.
And you just can't just go off of impulse.
That's one thing, bro.
Yeah. Or emotions. Yep.
Man,
Don't
that's
go off
one
your
thing.
first impulse that'll get you. Just like, always look at a situation if it was you.
Yep.
If it was you. Because everybody ain't the same. Everybody don't think the same. Obviously, we all don't think the same. We all might, you got to be with somebody or, look at life as like, having that same vision.
Mm-hmm.
No, you do.
Well, definitely.
Having the
gotta
same
have that
vision.
No, you most definitely do.
Similarities, same vision, same little vision, same path in life.
No, man, y'all definitely got to have the same energy, bro. That comes down to everything. Your family, your friends, everybody got to be on the same accord.
Yeah.
You can have a different perspective. That's cool, but if you hanging out with people who really don't have the same vision or the same goals as you moving backwards, honestly.
Yeah. It's gonna, tear you down long run.
Oh yeah. You definitely gonna feel it, and it's you're not moving in the way you need to move. The universe is moving backwards for you because you're not in your purpose.
Yep.
You're hanging out with people that kind of void that.
Definitely. All right, y'all. All the supporters, all the people that showing love out here, please comment what y'all think out here too as well. Was y'all opinions? You love to hear y'all opinions.
Comment,
like, comment, and subscribe.
Please do subscribe.
40 hours a week.
40-hour week show here.
40 hours a week podcast. We signing off.
Yes, sir. See you, man.
See you, man. Yes, sir. All right, Captain Kangaroo.